didn't really get into earning by learning until I came to Macon. I had a type of reading system in my classroom before when I taught at another school, but I had to do the prizes, I had to make the levels of the book. It was really very difficult. So when I got to Macon and found out that they did Accelerated Reader and they did Earning by Learning, it just kind of all came together. Well, one of the things that all teachers struggle with, whether they're teaching with younger children or older students, is some finish quickly and some don't. So, you know the old saying, idle hands are the devil's workshop. You have to have something for the kids to do. And if it's just busy work, you put a burden on yourself. So, Earning by Learning, working with a reading program, is something they always have something to do, and they're eager to do it. And once they get the taste of success of going to a computer, taking a test, making 100 on it, moving up a reading level, gradually getting prizes that are supplied by Earning by Learning, frankly, it becomes a bit of a problem because that's all they want to do is read. But that's a nice problem to have. Well, I have a large collection of books in my classroom that belong to me. All of them, I don't think I paid more than $1 for a book in the whole classroom. And I have different levels going down from kindergarten up to 4th grade. So those are there, they're labeled, and they're sorted into divisions, so students can go and pick one of those at any time. We also have a librarian who works with us, and so they go to the library, check out books, and those are their home reading books, and then they get books from me for reading during the classroom time. When we are working on anything, or whether we're waiting, like in the mornings after we eat breakfast and we're waiting for announcements to come on, that is the time that they spend reading their books and signing up on a list to go take tests. I have a continuous list that they sign up when they're ready to take a test. They fill out their own folder, they put the date, they put the name of the book, they put the reading level, and then after they go to the computer and take the test, they put their score, and then I sign off on it. That's one way I keep track of it. So once they think they're ready, they sign. I will look over if they're still finishing their math or working on that. I will skip them, but then come back to them. And if you're ready, your folder's filled out, then you get to go take a book. I have scrounged, and I do mean scrounged, 4 computers in the classroom. So that's very helpful because I can have 4 students taking tests at a time. And we just continually do this all day long. I have a very small class here. This year I only have 16, but we have already read 2,400 and about 80 books. So we're going to hit 3,000 this year. Also, it's very easy to monitor how they read. I can either use the folder, or what I do is I go into the computer and I print a weekly report. It gives me their average, tells me how many books they've read, it gives me their level. And so I can say, Johan, you only read 1 book last week. I require everyone to read 2 to 3 books a week. You need to take a test today. You know, within about a 2 weeks frame, you can go and print out their reading level and see if they've got an 85 average or a 90 average or whatever you determine, and see their reading level per grade. Also give them their reading level. And do you know they matched? Every child matched. Every child had increased by at least a grade level. These are 2nd graders. You can't make them do anything. You can pay them $1 a day for the rest of their life, and it might work for a little while, but they're reading because they want to read. The Earning by Learning program gives them confidence, it builds their self-esteem, it lets them know they can do this. They're very proud of their folders, they're very proud of looking for their name, they want to take tests, and they're very proud of the prizes that they win through the Earning by Learning program. Also, because of the way the program's set up, that they get to pick their own books, their own reading books, and that gives them a little bit of, I don't know, self-direction. We test toward the end of the year in second grade. We use ITBS. Like I said before, I know that their reading level is increased. My children, knock on wood, have always done well on ITBS. We want them to make an 80, a 90, a 100. If they're not scoring that over several books, there's several things I can do. One, I can require that they read the books more times. The other, I can have them take an oral test with me before they take a test on the computer. Just pull them up and ask them some questions about it. I can also move them back a level. I don't like to do that. And that's one of the reasons why when I move them up, I move them so slowly. Well, my thoughts are, if it works, do it. Isn't that what life is we all work toward some self-satisfying incentive? Something has to get us up in the morning and make us go, whether it's to put food on our plate or whether it's to feel important and worthwhile in a job. These are second graders. Do you know how competitive they are? I am still fighting with them about, you know, you don't get a prize ribbon, and I don't let you go play out in the field if you're the first one to put your paper in the tray. They still have this competitiveness. And so giving them an incentive to read just works right into their natural personality. The children I work with don't have the easiest life. By getting them to read, we open up doors and worlds to them that they don't know about. Ms. Bilberry, our librarian, has the top 10 posted on the wall when they come in. When the children bring their parents in, they point out their name on that list. The other thing I do is when I send the report cards home for the 6 weeks, I go back at the beginning of the 6 weeks, and then the day the 6 weeks ends, and I print out a report of the books that they have read. Do you know how powerful that is to send home a report to parents that they've read 100 books or something like that? So that puts them into the program. And whenever a parent comes up, you know, I always make that part of what I'm talking about. I'll say he's doing really well with his accelerated reader, or I'll say he's not reading enough books. He needs to read at least 2 or 3. Some children that were doing poorly on it at the beginning of the year, when I talked to their parents, they started reading to the parent at home. I saw that increase. So yes, I have one mother who does not know English. She only knows Spanish, but her child is bilingual. She still makes her daughter read to her in English because she wants to hear her read. So yes, they're a very integral part of this program. It does work. It works. If I had to change schools, one of the things I would do is find a school that had an EBL program. I know it works. I've seen it work. I've seen it work with high students. I've seen it work with low students. If you will just come to it with the attitude of, I can use this in my classroom. And this is not one of those things that you have to do it exactly the way Sarah Adam does it. You can take it and you can make it work for you. I came from a little bitty town in East Texas. There were 24 in my graduating class. I went to the University of Texas my freshman year. There were more people in the University of Texas there were in my town. But you know what? It opened up this world to me. Just going to college and having that experience, it changed me. And I took courses about things, astronomy and culture and folklore and things like that had always interested me. That's what I want for my kids. I want them to be interested in life. I want them to never stop learning. I want them to know that there's a future. Good heavens, at my age, I got a master's degree 4 years ago. I just want them to keep on. I want them to get excited about learning. That's what's so good about second grade, is you can hook them on reading, you can hook them on learning when it's still cool to do, before they get the attitude. Reading is the foundation of whatever you're going to do in life. I mean, there's all different parts of reading. There's fluency, how well you read, and all these different types of parts. But think how many times in your life you're going to have to pick up a contract, an employee interview request, a library card, a utility bill, a newspaper. And what do you have to do? You have to read it and comprehend it. I want them to know there's a great big world out there. And there's always something to learn. Always something to learn.